Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another Warzone video. I hope you are having a good day. In today's episode, we are going to talk about how to wipe teams in Call of Duty Warzone. More specifically, we are going to have a chat on how to take on multiple enemies at once, as these scenarios can happen quite often on Warzone. Do you ever play Warzone and you bump into a group of enemies, you manage to take out the first guy and you think, oh yeah, things are going well, and then you end up getting taken out by their teammates? Do you ever watch your favorite streamers and see that they manage to take out multiple enemies at once with ease and be like, man, I want to do that? Fighting multiple enemies is quite difficult. Wouldn't it be cool if I was able to do that one day? Well, not to worry, today we are going to go over how to take on multiple enemies in Call of Duty Warzone. We will cover the basic fundamentals when fighting multiple targets, talk about the concepts you should be thinking about to get those team wipes, and break down some examples to help you implement these tips into your own gameplay. So by the end of the video, the next time you bump into a full squad, you'll at least have the knowledge on how to approach the gunfight with multiple targets. This will help you gain confidence to take the fight and take out the enemy team and get that beautiful team wipe. Tip number 1, isolate fights. Probably the most important tip when fighting multiple enemies. You need to be isolating your fights to a 1v1 scenario when possible. Having two people shooting you at the same time is not a good idea. The time to kill in this game is quite quick at the moment, so I wouldn't recommend finding two targets at once. When this scenario does happen though, I recommend backing away and finding a different angle. You need to control LOS. So LOS pretty much stands for line of sight. LOS plays a huge part in determining the end result when fighting multiple targets. LOS is pretty much when you can see the enemy or where the enemy can see you, so you need to position yourself to ensure they don't have multiple line of sights on you. Okay, so I'm just going to break down on how I approach gunfights when engaging with multiple enemies. This gameplay is nothing crazy, just sharing my thought process. So right now we have an advanced UAV and we spot 3 enemies near the buy and decide to push. I drop off my teammate and I turn left. The reason why I do this is I don't want to give away my teammate's position. As you know, cars are visible on the map, so once he gets off, I turn left and take a different angle. As you can see, they're quite close to each other and my objective is to isolate the fights and try to take out one by one like I mentioned before. At this point, I'm trying to get an angle on the first guy, but watch how I stay close to the wall in case something goes wrong. My teammate ends up getting taken out by someone in this building right here. I think he made a small mistake here being open to 2 targets at the same time. It happens to all of us. I notice this and I jump up to see if I can get an angle. At this point, I'm very conscious of my LOS. I don't want to be exposed to multiple enemies. Knowing that, I don't stay in this spot for too long due to another team pushing as well. So I end up seeing this guy on the UAV next to the buy. And notice how I'm making a conscious effort to stay in cover to control the line of sight to isolate this fight into a 1v1 scenario. I don't get the guy and I get shot by his teammate, so I decide to back away and reposition. There's 2 teams there fighting, so I just reposition, just try to get another angle. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. I managed to get the pick on the first guy in the building who killed my teammate, so a little bit of revenge there. And notice how I reposition straight away just in case he gives comms to his teammates. These guys are still on UAV and I've cleared the top, so I decide to push at this point. I managed to get the kills, but let's run it back for just a second. These guys definitely made a mistake. If there are multiple enemies around, try not to revive your teammates out in the open. Even though I didn't get every kill in that scenario, it's really beneficial to play with some patience, control line of sight, isolate the fights. This way you can stay alive and make sure you get a couple kills as well. Just to drill it down further, I made some simple animations to demonstrate. In this scenario, there are 2 targets pushing me and they both have line of sight. I definitely want to isolate the situation. I do not want to fight both of them at the same time. So I move to the right a little bit to cut off LOS on one of the enemies. This is a very important technique, cutting off LOS when you're fighting multiple targets. I managed to take out the first guy and then I take a different angle and manage to get the team wipe. Another scenario could be, I swing to the left and take out the first target. I reposition behind cover and hold this corner. At this point, you need to predict how the enemy is going to push you. Is he going to push you at your last known location, which is over here, or is he going to try to flank you? In this scenario, he pushes my last known position, so using audio cues, I can hear his footsteps and flank accordingly. As you can see, it's super useful to predict how the enemy is going to push you after that first pick, so make sure you keep that in mind when fighting multiple people. Tip number 2, reposition. So a lot of times I'm fighting a full squad and I notice I can get the first pick, but then his teammates are able to get the jump on me. So what I try to do now after I get the first pick, I reposition straight away to get into a safe position or change up the angle. It kind of just depends on the situation and the environment, but you always want to change position. Unless you have really good cover or a power position, then you can stay. If you think about it, it's a normal reaction for the enemy to check your last known position. So if you're able to change it up, get a different angle during the gunfight, you can really turn the momentum and take out the whole squad. So I'm going to break down another scenario where I bump into multiple enemies. So we're just riding the helicopter, me and my squad, and I see the car here and I just start beaming it. At this point, I see blood, so I jump down. I didn't really communicate to my team that I was jumping down. I apologize, guys. Remember to let your squad know when you are pushing. So at this point, I see the entrance in front of me. But I think if I went that way, I will be fighting 4 people at once for sure. So I turn around and take this entrance instead. There is no one on my top right, so I'm assuming they're all on the left side of the room here. I start scanning the room and I spot a couple of enemies. In my head, I'm thinking I need to have an exit plan in case something goes wrong. So I make a conscious effort to use these boxes as cover, and I know there is a way out behind me. I end up getting the pick and I reposition immediately to armor up. This will give time for my team to come down from the roof and also for me to change the angle of attack. So my teammate is down on the left here, there's no one in front of me, so I end up peeking to the left. However, I am conscious that this room is my exit plan in case something goes wrong. I managed to take out the targets, but then this guy jumps out of nowhere. As a reaction, I break my line of sight to reload, perform a slide cancel, and we manage to take out the last guy together. It's super important to reposition and re-enter fights when applicable. This can really keep you alive when fighting multiple targets. Also, having exit plans and attacking from the right angles can also be very beneficial. Really quickly, I just want to say I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. I am trying to improve how I make these videos to provide good content to you guys, so I do hope these are helping. Really appreciate everyone's support, and shout out to my subscribers. We are currently at 16,000. You guys are the real MVPs. Remember to smash the like button if you enjoyed the video and sub to the YouTube channel for more Warzone content. Saying that though, let's continue with the video. Tip number 3, don't always go for the elimination. I see pros do this all the time. They don't really stress too much on the elimination and focus on the bigger picture. There is no point winning the first battle and you end up losing the war. Oftentimes you can leave the down teammate or shoot him a couple times just to lower their health. This can cause their teammates to make bad plays and act on emotion to try to save their teammate, and you can take advantage of that. Tip number 4, having controlled level of aggression. When fighting multiple targets, there are 2 goals, staying alive and wiping the whole squad. To achieve this, you need to make sure your level of aggression is at the right place at the right time. This is really a balancing act where you need to make quick decisions. You need to decide to push or play positions. I think generally when it's a full squad, you need to be patient and try to take down some enemies using smart plays and cover. Then when you have a pick or 2, this is normally a good time to push aggressively and finish off the squad. I see a lot of mistakes where players are being too aggressive right off the rip when bumping into a full squad and end up getting taken out straight away. So saying that, try to be patient when fighting multiple targets and ramp up the aggression as you get the upper hand. This concept really just depends on the scenario and the environment, so play around with it and see how you go. Well, that is it for today's video. Just some final thoughts about getting team wipes and fighting multiple targets. I think the most important thing is isolating fights when taking on multiple enemies. So if there's one thing you can take from the video, I do hope it's that. If you guys have other tips relating to this topic or video ideas, make sure to comment below. Another key aspect is having confidence. If you play with confidence and smart at the same time, I definitely think you'll see some improvements when it comes to getting those team wipes. It's also super important to keep yourself alive. I know this might sound strange, but having the ability to stay alive during gunfights will actually help you get way more kills in the long run. You want to kind of think like a boxer, control the range, in and out, in and out. You want to control when you can get hit and when you can't get hit. When you put yourself in the danger zone and expose your LOS, you need to be switched on and ready to execute your exit plan if something goes wrong. Sorry for the boxing analogy, but I do hope that makes sense. I was really into boxing for a few years, hence the reference. Well, that is it for today's video. A bit of a ramble at the end, but I do hope you enjoyed the content. Remember to smash the like button if you learned something new or enjoyed the video. Sub to the YouTube channel if you are interested. And good luck on the Warzone, and I will see you guys next time.